Hello everybody and welcome! My name is Ketchup and you are watching the ESL Premiership Roundup powered by Windows 10 and Omen by HP. Week number 5 for CSGO has now been concluded. In our first series of the night, Fish123 would face off against Endpoint, and in our second series, FM Esports would take on the Imperial. And as always, we're going to take an in-depth look over how those games actually played out. In game number 1 of Endpoint vs Fish123, we'd find ourselves on Dust 2. Endpoint looked incredibly strong in the first game, and because of this, they were able to kick the night off with a great start and take the first map 16-12. In game number 2, things would once again be incredibly close between the two teams. Rounds would trade constantly. Things were looking good for Endpoint, and a 2-0 win would have certainly greatened their chances of making finals. However, Fish would keep it together and snatch the final game away with a 16-13 result. Endpoint's chances of making finals are now out of their hands. Our second series would see FM Esports face off against the Imperial. Sticking to the theme of close games, the first game was looking promising for both teams, but after round 9, Imperial would kick things up a notch. Although the lead increased steadily for Imperial, FM would answer back in impressive fashion, taking us all the way to round 30. In the final round, however, Imperial's Connor would sneak up behind FM and force the round to end in Imperial's favour, securing the first win and blowing the leaderboards right open. Mirage would be the map for the second game as FM managed to regain control and pull ahead early. This would go all the way for FM, who took the second map 16-8, but nevertheless, an important set of games for all teams, as the leaderboard gap between those top teams is now significantly shorter. As you guys know by now, that was only half of what happened this week in the Premiership for CSGO, and here is Flakes to run you through the rest.
Elsewhere in the Premiership, we witnessed Impulse Gaming play off against Royals UK, the two teams that are coined with the branding of underdogs, both of which are currently squabbling for ranking between 7th to 8th position within the group stage. Royals found themselves with a strong start in their first map this week over on Cash, picking up both the pistol and the following two. However, Impulse would not bow out lightly as they fought back hard to claim their first buy-round victory and present themselves an opportunity while they certainly wouldn't let go amiss. Unfortunately for them, it didn't quite go to plan as Royals seemed to be able to bring something better in every single attempt. Thankfully, Impulse were able to squeeze out just enough to merit a 5-10 half, stopping Royals from running away from this one too soon, too early, and most importantly giving themselves room to breathe going to the second half. The scoreline on Cash continued to develop to 14-6 in favour of Royals until a crucial clutch was pulled off by Jamie James, giving them a fighting chance. This momentum led them to not only equalise the scoreline, but force us into overtime. Once arriving in overtime, it was a no-holds-barred matchup that pitched Impulse chaining back-to-back rounds with zero interruption, right up to them taking the win in a surprise comeback with a flawless overtime performance, 19-15. The second map of the series would relocate the gauntlet down to Dust 2, a map built on the foundation of aim battles to put it simply. As the map unfolded, it became common knowledge that both of these teams clearly knew how to tackle each other as every endeavour became a tougher affair by the second, leading us to an 8-7 half. As the second half began to unfold, it became more and more apparent that Royals UK were beginning to take hold. They were beginning to find themselves as players once again. More and more rounds were strung together. Impulse had a harder time to fight for their lead. They were able to find some crucial frags yet again, allowing them to eke out the final 9 rounds required to close out the map and end the evening in a draw.
Once again, let's take a look at the current standings to see where our teams are in terms of points. As you can see, FM Esports and Fish123 both sitting with 11 points each, but the important thing here is that the gap between the top 4 teams is now significantly shorter, with XL sitting at 3rd place, or 2nd place you could say, only being 1 point behind those other teams. These next coming weeks are going to be crucial for those top 4 teams, and our first series that we have upcoming is going to be Fish123 versus the Imperial. This is a mega week for the Imperial, because if they can win against Fish 2-0, Fish will not only stay where they are on the leaderboard, but Imperial will then start tying with them, making the final week an incredibly important week for both teams. Our second series coming up is going to be XL versus Impulse. Now, this is a fantastic opportunity for XL to win their series 2-0 if they can pull it off, and then funnily enough, go straight into that #1 team with a fantastic chance to make finals. This, of course, depends entirely on how well FM and Fish123 play in this next coming week. We have to wait and see what happens there, and it is moments away from taking place. However, that is everything from me this week. Thank you very much for watching. This has been the ESL Premiership Roundup, powered by Windows 10 and Omen by HP. Thank you for watching, and enjoy this week's matches.